Hi everyone, David Aragona and Mike Beer here, taking a look at the Thursday race of the day. It is race 6 at Gulfstream Park. This is a high-level optional claimer allowance race going 1 mile on the dirt for the fillies and mares. And Mike, this might just be an allowance race, but it has a stakes feel to it with a couple of really talented runners in here in the number 5, Just FYI, who is making her 4-year-old debut. She, of course, being a former Breeders' Cup winner as a 2-year-old, as well as last year's Black-Eyed Susan winner Gunsong, who was in great form right up until the end of the year.
Yeah, a couple of fillies who were certainly the two of the best of their generation. Now 4-year-olds, both coming back off of little layoffs, or obviously a long layoff for just FYI. So we'll see if they're ready. But if make no mistake, if they're ready off the layoff here, the rest of these horses are in big trouble.
Do note that the number 1 Power Squeeze is likely to be scratched from this race. Our colleague Dave Gretting did point out that she is likely to await a tougher spot like the Grade 1 Apple Blossom in a few weeks' time. So this field will likely go with no more than 5 on Thursday. This being the race of the day, do make sure that you take advantage of those free past performances that we're offering. All access PPs, not just classic. You can handicap along with us using Timeform US, Formulator. Try both of them out to handicap this Thursday race of the day. Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race, Mike, because both of the two protagonists have plenty of early speed. Gunsong is a horse who has shown the ability to go gate to wire in the past, and just FYI, certainly not a need the lead type, but she's got plenty of speed and could be fresh off the layoff.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing as far as the pace goes. Just FYI, she's not necessarily a speed horse, but she's got a lot of natural pace. And if she's fresh off the layoff, she could certainly be right up there, either on the lead or just sitting right off of Gunsong. Gunsong always wants to be forward.
Let's go through this field in program number order, and I think we can skip over the number 1 Power Squeeze since she is not likely to run here. She would have been one of the contenders, last year's Grade 1 Alabama winner, looking to get back on track after a poor effort, or I should say a poor result, not exactly a terrible effort by her in the Pegasus World Cup, but kind of a moot point because she is not likely to play here. The number 2 Literate is a horse that has done her best running on the turf and synthetic, Mike. I think dirt is a big question mark for her. She ran on it last time in the Wayward Lass, not even against the toughest field for a stakes race, and was a little keen early, but just didn't do much running after that.
Yeah, didn't run well in that race. And the only other dirt start is just a really, really slow race. It was followed by a really long layoff. So maybe you don't want to be too hard on her for that. She just got so much to prove, David. I understand Drexler, come back here, see if she can run a better race on dirt and maybe what should have been an easier spot, but it's not an easier spot.
Like, I'm wondering what you make of the number 3 Gunsong and where she kind of fits in this filly and mare division, because I had trouble getting a gauge on how good she really was last year. Obviously, she's got that notable second place finish, only losing by a neck to Torpedo Anna in the Grade 1 Cotillion. That's her second to last start. But we'll take a look at her last race in the Mother Goose, where on paper it looks like a fine effort. She dueled with Tarifa all the way to the wire, but I gotta say, going back to watch this race, it was hard to believe that she lost because she traveled so well coming to the quarter pole, and she just failed to put away Tarifa at any point. And this entire field comes together at the end like an accordion, and I typically don't like to see that happen at the ends of races.
Yeah, this just didn't seem like a very strong race overall. And I'm with you. I mean, Gunsong, I don't think you necessarily want to say she was disappointing in there, but maybe she was. She just, I don't know. She just is supposed to probably win there. Not that, Tarifa hasn't shown herself to, I guess, be at least a little bit of a fighter, but I'm not a big Tarifa fan. And if I'm being honest, I was never a really big Gunsong fan last year either. She had a good, really good campaign. I thought Mark Hennig did a great job with her just finding the right spots to run her in. I'm just not sure that she's truly a Grade 1 horse. And if just FYI is ready off the layoff, she's going to have to be.
Yeah, if she has any edge over just FYI, it's that she just got a conventional winter break. There was no issue or anything, just freshening her up for the 4-year-old campaign. So maybe she's got that recency edge on her rival. The number 4, Abundancia, is a horse that has been pretty up and down since coming to North America, running well in a couple of races, particularly that handicap back in April of 24 behind Beth Stream, who is a pretty nice horse at this level. But since then, Mike, she's just been pretty inconsistent, and her last race was a bad one.
Yeah, terrible in the most recent start. She's just got so much to prove. Another one who, maybe they thought entering here they'd land in a much more comfortable spot, and that has not happened for them. And, at the end of the day, she's really only got one race, or at least one figure that's going to give her any kind of a chance in here.
The number 5 is the headline attraction, Just FYI, the 2-year-old champion back in 2023, winner of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies that year to complete an undefeated 3-for-3 campaign. Now, Mike, she lost all 3 starts during her 3-year-old campaign, but at least in the first couple of them, I thought that she actually gained in stature, running so well off the layoff in the Ashland. And then her Kentucky Oaks effort was excellent. I mean, nobody was beating Torpedo Anna that day, but she did not have a good post position draw, was a little wide early, and tried really hard to go after that eventual horse of the year through the stretch, was just turned away late. Something obviously went wrong in the Acorn. She went to the sidelines after that. But if she comes back in top form, she could be a major player in this division this year.
I agree. I'm with that. I agree with everything you said. Even though she didn't win last year, those first 2 performances, I thought she ran really, really well. I just felt like she was on her way to having a really good 3-year-old campaign, which got cut short. And I'll be honest, you go back and watch that Acorn too. I'm not surprised that, I mean, I don't know if I thought she'd miss the rest of the year. I'm not surprised they stopped on her a little bit there. They got really aggressive. They obviously were trying. They were really trying to beat Torpedo Anna that day. They got super aggressive with her, went a fast pace, and she paid the price.
Yeah, it kind of looked like the wheels just came off that day. I remember Bill Mott had made some quotes about her maybe lacking some weight coming into that race, and it just felt like she really needed the break. So hopefully she's coming back in top form. I did find this DRF formulator fact for Bill Mott, which gives some confidence that she is going to do well off this long layoff with 6 to 12 month layoffs, 180 to 360 days. Bill Mott in allowance dirt races with 4-year-olds and up, 14 for 46. It's a 30% win rate with a healthy $2.40 ROI. Rounding out the field is the number 6, Riding Pretty, who's going to be a long shot, Mike. And I mean, I could see her at least getting in there for third because she's got some dirt races that make her a little more reliable than the other 2 outsiders in here, Literate and Abundancia. And when you just isolate those dirt races in her form and forget about the synthetic and turf efforts, she looks a little more consistent.
Yeah, that was my takeaway from it too. Obviously, she just can't win this race if either of the 2 favorites are ready off the bench. But at least you sort of get the feel she's going to show up and give a good account of herself, whether it's good enough or not.
Everybody, if you agree with our takes on these 2 horses coming off layoffs or disagree, make sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe this video. Mike, let's go to our picks here. It's not exactly a race to bet. I mean, there's just not really value to find if you have a positive take on either Gunsong or Just FYI. But I think we both feel that if Just FYI comes back in top form, she's going to be a handful.
Yeah, I just think she's the best horse in the race. We'll see if she needs one, off the layoff here. Obviously, I'm sure the connections have, their eyes on some bigger races down the line, but she's close to ready here. She wins.
5-3-4 for Mike and 5-3-6 for me in this Thursday race of the day, race 6 at Gulfstream Park. Good luck if you're playing the races later this week.